By now, we all know that Vietnam is one of the fastest growing developing countries in the world, and GDP grew by 8% last year. But just because GDP growth is very good, does that mean that all your investments will be successful? In this episode, I will talk about the Vietnam stock market, its current conditions, and also go over the basics of the different types of stocks, the platforms, and regulations, and of course how the stock market works in Vietnam as well. And finally, I will give my own opinion of whether you should invest in Vietnam stock market. So let's get started. So hello, my name is Ken Duong, international business immigration attorney from the United States with over 15 years of experience helping individuals and companies invest, get second citizenships, and live all over the world, including United States, Grenada, Portugal, Vietnam, and other Southeast Asian countries. But before I get into the topic about the stock market today, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell for notifications to get the most updated information about investing, living, and get second citizenships all over the world. So let's talk about the stock market in Vietnam. First, you got to look at the two main exchanges in Vietnam. One is the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange, which is HOSE, and also the Hanoi Stock Exchange, which is HNX. The larger, more robust and active stock exchange is the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange that has 400 listed companies and a market capitalization of $200 billion as I stand right in front of it here. The second exchange is a little bit smaller, is the Hanoi Stock Exchange, which has 380 listed companies, but only $30 billion of market capitalization. So those are the two main big exchanges. Both exchanges will allow you to trade in stocks, bonds, derivatives, and other securities. And it's also worth noting that Vietnam has the smallest stock market in Southeast Asia. So stocks in Vietnam are classified into three main categories: the blue chip stocks, the mid-cap stocks, and the penny stocks. So the blue chip stocks are some of the largest and most reputable companies in Vietnam, such as Vietcombank, Vinamilk, or Vietjet. These particular stocks have very stable returns, good organizations, and they will have certain appreciation and increase in value, but nothing very dramatic. These blue chip stocks are really great for long-term investment portfolios. The second type are the mid-cap stocks, and these are companies that are on the rise or growing, and they have a lot of growth potential. Examples are FPT Corporation, Masan Group, and Thế giới di động or Mobile World. They have moderate stability, volatility, and risk. So these are great for midterm investment strategies and portfolios. And finally, the third category are the penny stocks. These are the short-term, high-performing, high-risk, high-volatility stocks, such as our client Bamboo Airways, Hoàng Anh Gia Lai, or Kinh Bắc City Department. If you're looking for short-term stock investments with high returns and high risk, then these are potential penny stocks that you may choose. So how do you get started in investing in the stock market in Vietnam? So although Vietnam has opened up to foreign investments into the stock market, there are still restrictions with domestic companies on how many shares can be sold to foreign companies, and also restrictions regarding state-owned enterprises and how much foreigners can own in that. Nevertheless, if you are looking to invest into the stock market, there are over 80 brokerages that will allow for foreigners and domestic to invest into the stock market. But today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 largest brokerages in Vietnam. Number 1, the Saigon Securities Incorporation, or also known as SSI. Number 2, the Ho Chi Minh Securities Corporation, or HSC. Number 3, Viet Capital Securities Joint Stock Company. Number 4, VN Direct Securities Corporation. And then number 5 is the ACB Securities Corporation. After you have selected your brokerage company, then they will ask you for certain documentation and forms to be filled out. First is your account opening application. Second is your power of attorney. Third, your securities trading code application. Fourth, your passport. And five, if you're a U.S. citizen, then you will also need to fill out the FACTA compliance. And of course, you need to open a local bank account in order to transfer funds in to be held and also to transfer any sales or profits out. Foreign investors need to register with the State Securities Commission and obtain a securities trading code before they buy or sell stocks. Essentially, this is your ID to allow you to trade, buy and sell stocks in Vietnam. But there are some risks and limitations to investing into the stock market as a foreigner. While foreign investors technically can open up to 49% of the total shares of a listed company in Vietnam, the current limitation is 30% depending on the industry. Some industries even have lower limits and require special approval, not to mention that some ban foreign investors from owning certain stocks. Foreign investors are subject to a 0.1% trading fee and a 0.05% clearing fee on each transaction. They are also subject to a 5% withholding tax on dividends and a 0.1% capital gains tax on profits. There are also other factors that increase the risk of investing into the stock market in Vietnam, such as hyperinflation, fluctuations, supply chain problems, and recessions. Those risks are quite common in other countries as well, but if you add those risks to the current limitations that foreign investors are facing, it becomes less attractive to invest in the stock market. As an example, I talked about large real estate companies, CEOs, who made the market extremely chaotic, and they were arrested because stock manipulation. So you can watch that video and my personal opinion about that particular industry by clicking on the right-hand corner of your screen. So one major downside to investing in the stock market is you will not be qualified for an investor visa, because investing in the stock is a passive investment, which means there's minimal effort and not job creation, as opposed to active investment whereby you're creating jobs, stimulating the economy, and therefore you would be able to qualify for the investor visa. So many people have asked me about my opinion regarding the stock market in Vietnam and should you or should you not invest. So I would highly recommend this as my personal opinion about the Vietnam stock market. I invest into the US stock market, but through a fund manager or mutual funds. But in Vietnam, there are many brokerages that are very successful in investing people's money. So I would highly recommend that one is you pick a very solid brokerage that has good information, and also that your trader or the manager is also knowledgeable as well. If you want to be a day trader and actually trade yourself, then you need to get extensive knowledge, read up on all the news and information about the stocks you want to trade, and then also possibly have software or indicators and that will help you understand when to sell and when to buy. And of course, the general feeling for me is you should not be extremely greedy about the profits that you expect in the stock market. And finally, you should not invest into the stock market if you don't have time and effort and passion in understanding the Vietnamese companies, the publicly traded companies, and companies that will potentially IPO, so that you have a good understanding of the market. And that is my personal opinion regarding the Vietnam stock market. Do it if you actually know how, and if you don't, then go through a manager, or otherwise just invest into other markets that are bigger and more defined, such as the NASDAQ or the Singapore Stock Exchange or the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And that is my legal opinion about the Vietnam stock market. While we do not necessarily recommend that you invest into the stock market, there are far better options for you to get your investor visa and also invest in Vietnam. And that is the retail industry in Vietnam. We have already running pre-approved and successful retail businesses such as coffee shops, convenience stores, pharmacies, and other franchises that we've had our clients invest in. So anywhere that's ranging from $50,000 up to $250,000 to invest into a system that will work for you. So make sure that you do a 1-hour consultation with one of our attorneys and experts to help you tailor your investment plan in Vietnam. So we look forward to talking with you. Although if you still want to invest into Vietnam, into the stock market as a foreigner, then we would highly recommend that you get your Vietnamese citizenship, which will help you maximize your profits and also minimize your taxes as well. So you can watch some of the videos on the pop-ups to understand about how to get your Vietnamese citizenship, what are the rules and requirements, banking, and other items related to Vietnamese citizenship. So investing into the stock market in Vietnam can be highly volatile, unpredictable, but it can also be very rewarding as well. So make sure that you do your research on the stock market, the portfolio, and the performances in the past in order to see if you're comfortable investing into the stock market in Vietnam. So if you found this video helpful, make sure that you like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment below about the stock market itself and your experience, and of course click on the bell for notifications. So on behalf of Duong Global, my name is Ken Duong. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.